G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Monday the 10th of June and the time here is 11 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, look, I'm actually going to do this video today because I want my kids to watch it. So I'm going to go over some stuff that you've probably already heard before, but you need to probably remember again, if that makes sense. It'll be a little bit of financial, a little bit of news here and there, but I'm trying to get the point across to everyone exactly what's going on, if you know what I mean. So let's do the sponsorship and we'll move on. Okay, folks, this is my sponsor, Holistic Golden Activated Turmeric Paste. If you have not tried this, you need to. It is, quite frankly, the best stuff going around for joint pain and just keeping yourself in check, really. Since I've been using this, as I've said before, I have not suffered any knee problems at all. None. And I can't even make that up because it's that good. Honestly, it really, really works, folks. I've tried all the others. This is the best. And as I said, I get lots of feedback from everybody who tells me the same thing. So that's good. Here's where you can get them. Bundle Farmers Market on every Sunday, 6 till 12. There's the contact details there, 0433 165 848 and info at Totally Rawsome. And join their mailing list. Okay. I know a lot of you do watch Greg Hunter from A Watchdog. Not blowing my own trumpet or anything, but if you watch yesterday's interview with Craig Hemke, it's a bit of a resounding victory for me in the way he describes everything, because it's exactly the same way that I have told all you guys, and he's a guru and I'm just an economic hack. So I would urge all of you to watch that particular video with Craig Hemke on USA Watchdog that was released yesterday. It's a very, very poignant, is that the word? Video, because he tells you exactly how this is all going, and he's been telling people for they've all been telling us for ages anyway, folks. It's over. Everything is over. So basically now, you need to capitalize on this time to get your preparations right. And that can be anything from buying more chickens, more food, more water, whatever you deem necessary in your life to get you through what's coming up. Now, someone asked me a question in the comments as regards to, well, how do I clear my credit card debt? Well, mate, look, we're all in the same boat, all of us. That's why these schemes have come up lately of BitPay and all this sort of stuff, because they need to keep the credit going. So, let's step back to the early 90s when interest rates were on a credit card, and you people in America will be astounded by this and around the world. Credit cards here were 30%, I think it was. Normal interest rates, mortgage rates, were 17 on a house, 15 to 17. The interest rate on a credit card skyrocketed to 33%, I think it was, 35 sometimes. It's not so much that the interest rates going up on houses and was bad enough. What broke everybody was the credit cards. Now remember, not everybody used a credit card back in the early 90s because they were actually pretty hard to get. You just didn't walk up and get one. You had to have a balance in your bank account to satisfy the people that you could get one. Interesting to note, after that recession that we all had to have in the 90s, credit cards just went bang. So if you really want to travel back in time, that's when it all started the shit hitting the fan, was on that recession we had to have with the huge interest rates and everything else. Now, this is a bit that I want to try and get across to my kids. at that particular time, unemployment was, I think it was 15% here in Australia, something ridiculous. I can't remember, but I know it was a lot because just about everyone I knew was out of work. Inflation went like that, skyrocketed. Interest rates went like that. They skyrocketed to try and keep inflation in check. It didn't work. And it's interesting to note that a lot of the things that went up during that time have never gone back down since that time. Keep that in mind. So here we are now. So Craig Hemke talked about the yield curve yesterday, right, which is supposed to show how things are going. So take the 90s, move to now. How come inflation's going up and interest rates are going down? Ask yourself that. It's actually just about near on physically impossible. Because as you know, if inflation starts going like this, the only way to keep it in check, or one of the only ways to keep it in check, is to make sure that interest rates go up to stop people spending and the economy doesn't catch on fire. So what happens in a system where inflation's going like that, your interest rates are going down? Gorging the system with more money, because people are going to go, wow, great, interest rates are going down, I'm going to go and get that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to spend. So inflation is just going to skyrocket, folks. Literally, it's going to skyrocket and it's going to be fucking bad. So all those times when me and everyone else has been yelling from the rooftops that, this is coming, it's here. It's no longer not coming. It's here. And you only have to listen to Trump to know that it's here, because he's telling the Reserve Bank in America to drop interest rates. So that tax cut that they did and the spending that went on with that and all the jobs it created, that's all finished. That's gone. The money's gone. So now we're left with this vacuum of, last month in America, last month and the month before. So take it the month before that. The jobs that were created in America, I think if I remember, was nearly 200,000, maybe more. But regardless of whether it was shit jobs or whatever, this month it was 20. So I hope you understood what I just said. The month before, it was nearly 200,000 people that got employed. This month's 20,000. So you went from 200,000 to 20,000 people. Now, you don't have to be Einstein to work out that, wow, that's a massive drop. 80% drop, if you want to equate it back. That's a huge drop. So there's only one way for them to go now, folks. And that's to throw the kitchen sink at everything again. Now, we mentioned Deutsche Bank. If you watch the Craig Hemke interview, he says exactly what I said the other day. Deutsche Bank is the number one bank in Europe. It's all the European banks are joined at the hip. The big one is Deutsche Bank. Their shares today, let's have a look. Okay, let's do this together, because then you can show, you can learn how to show people what's going on. Right, so scroll down the page. Go to Germany, find Germany, there it is. Click on Germany. Right, scroll down the page. Oh, sorry, yeah. Click on stock market. Get rid of these annoying ads. And go down the right hand side. And let's click on Deutsche Bank. Oh shit. today, Deutsche Bank is at $5 a share. Even I'm stunned. Shit, I wasn't expecting that. Folks, what that one particular number tells us is that Deutsche Bank is now effectively broke. So the number one, right, as someone said the other day, one of the leading banks in the world is now broke. So the German government-controlled Deutsche Bank is broke, which means that all the other banks in Europe are at high risk, very high risk. So once again, going back to the Craig Hemke interview, listen to what he says about Deutsche Bank. He actually says exactly what I said to you the other day about Deutsche Bank. It is effectively a bankrupt entity. It's finished. This time, this week, next week, or something like that, the German government or the European Union, via the German government, will have to step in to save Deutsche Bank, i.e. all the other banks around the world. That's how serious this is. Now remember, Deutsche Bank shares were at $147 a share. They're now worth $5. All those times that everyone's been talking about is here. Now, regardless of if the German government throws trillions at this bank and says it has an open book, you and I both know that it's only extra debt that they're adding on to the outstanding $40 trillion of debt that they have now. This is going to blow up, folks. It's going to blow up in your face. And like I said the other day, I don't think we get out of June with some major problem. Massive major problem. I hope I'm wrong, but look, there's only so far you can drag this down the road, literally. So, listen, use your head, go down to Coles and Woolies, if you're in Australia, or whatever shop you go to in US, and start stocking up, because next week that $1 can of peaches is going to be $2.50. The week after that, it's going to be $5. That's how this is going to play out. Once all this debt starts coming home to roost, it's all going to blow up. Now, have you noticed that there's not been any news about Deutsche Bank? That's not by coincidence, folks. And can I just say, forget about all the other theatre, the news and everything else. Forget about all that. That's all bullshit. It's irrelevant. While we're sitting here, there's other people sitting in dark rooms, powerful people sitting in dark rooms planning how to get out of this, how they're going to get out of it. Not us. They don't give a shit about us. This is about how they're going to get out of it. There will be martial law. There will be martial law, especially in America. The day you hear Trump say that we've got it all under control and everything's okay, that's the day to start panicking. Well, not panic, but, start your real preparations. Make sure your car is full of petrol. Make sure that you have all the food you need for the next couple of weeks. The first 3 weeks to a month will be bad. Very bad. Coming into the second end of the second week, as I've said before, it will be horrendous. God knows what scheme they've got in mind. In my mind, as an economic hack, the only thing I can see them doing is giving everybody helicopter money. I.e., you wake up tomorrow and you've got $10,000 in your bank account, a gift from the government. The day you hear that is the day that you know, when they mention helicopter money, and Trump has already, if you look back at a couple of weeks ago, he's already said he's quite prepared to have helicopter money. And also here in Australia, the Reserve Bank of Australia openly stated in their monthly statement that the need for helicopter money is real. They didn't paraphrase, I'm paraphrasing, but look, that's what they said. We now need to use helicopter money. Folks, they probably got one or two more tricks up their sleeve, but it ain't going to work. They've pushed this off as long as they can. There is no more time. It's finished. So, just to recap. Deutsche Bank shares are at $5. $5. One of the world's biggest bank shares are at $5. People said to me, "Oh, I can't afford to go out and buy gold and silver, etc." Well, go to an op shop, go to Salvos. All these places sell gold and silver, folks. Salvos sell gold and silver. They have necklaces, etc. You can buy them for next to nothing. You don't need to buy top quality clothing, by the way. You buy enough to make you last for a year. You can buy everything you need at Salvos, all the other places, Vinnie's, wherever. But you need to understand something right now. And I mean this right now. It's over. It's finished. There is no more gathering steam, doing whatever. They're not going to save Deutsche Bank. Regardless of what they do, they will bust other banks to save it, try and save it, but they can't save it. It's not salvageable. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually turned around and actually said, "We can't save it, it's gone, we're going to save all the other banks." I know I said before that they were going to save Deutsche Bank, but I don't think they can. I think what they're going to do is actually cocoon it, swallow up the debt, and save all the other banks. That's how serious this is. Like I said, don't kid yourself that there's not people, very high powerful people, sitting in rooms and have been for the last 6 months just deciding what they're going to do with people like us when this explodes. So have your contingency plan in place. All right, let's do the prayers. Okay, folks. Verse of the day. The narrow and wide gates. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Wow, how prophetic is that? Okay, folks, and as always, we'll finish with the Lord's Prayer. And boy, do we surely need some spiritual help at the moment and into the future. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I just want to leave you with a thought, folks. And I was thinking about how is the best way to explain this to my kids, or to anyone for that matter, even you guys. So imagine you had a wagon wheel and you had to put it on on its spoke to make it go round. Well, you're going to grease that all up, aren't you? So imagine if you took it down to the shop and you said to the guy, "Okay, well, can you fix this, mate?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure, no problem." You get it back, it's fine. working perfectly well for a while. Then all of a sudden you start hearing this funny noise when it's going round. And you're like, that doesn't sound too good. But then it keeps going and you think to yourself, well, what is this noise? Where is this noise coming from? Gets worse and worse. You start thinking you're just imagining it, but it gets worse and worse and worse, and eventually it ceases. And you're like, oh shit, I just got that fixed. So you pull it apart yourself and you have a look at it, what's wrong. And this is what's wrong. The guy put all the grease in there, but he mixed it up with salt and sand. So when you put it on, it worked fine for a while, until eventually the sand and the salt combined to make it so hard that it wouldn't go around anymore. Folks, that's where we're at. The wheel ain't going to turn on the axle anymore because the grease is full of sand and salt. Think about it. Anyway, God bless, prep out.